Chairman, and welcome, Postmaster General. Certainly understand you have an impossible job, and I hope I have time to ask you why is it impossible. But I want to start. We asked some folks back home, if you could be in front of the Postmaster General, what questions would they ask you? So this first one is from Mike from Topeka, and Stacy from Marysville had the same question. What is justifying the consistent price increases with no change or improvement in delivery time or service?
Senator, we had a defective pricing model for 20 years. Mail volume cut in half, and we were not allowed to raise our prices to accommodate that. The basic division that would have told anybody that we needed to have a significant increase in price. Also, during the time period that I've been here and raising prices, we've had 20% inflation. So under any circumstance, okay, the price, the prices that we have, the only thing we've raised our prices on have been mostly the inflation, right? And that is the case. The service was deteriorating when I walked in the door. It had been bad. It was getting worse. And we are trying, and the trajectory has to be stabilized before we start getting better.
Thank you. I'll go to the next question. This one's from Dana from El Dorado. A lot of folks in rural Kansas do not get their mail in a timely manner. First-class mail used to get anywhere in the United States in 2 to 3 days. What changed?
The standard.
The standard.
It's 5 days now.
The standard is 5.
Well,
why was the standard changed?
Because the operational cost because mail volume had declined 50%, over 50%. We were flying. We spent $3.5 billion flying mail around the country to meet the 3-day standard when I got here, and we're running 50,000 trucks a day empty, right? So I don't own planes. We canceled those contracts that were flying all the stuff. We put everything on truck, and that's our on a ground service, and that is our big initiative.
Has that project been successful?
Yes, we've taken $1.5 billion out of our transportation budget. We got service up to the 90s across the board until we started making these physical distribution changes, okay, which are painful.
Okay, next, we sent a poll out to over 400,000 Kansans this week. Everybody was not a push poll, and over half of the Kansans in said their mail delivery services are unreliable. So over half of Kansans said the mail delivery services are unreliable, and nearly 70% said they have personally experienced delays in the past year. How do you measure success? Certainly you're not going to call that success, I would assume.
No, we have issues in Kansas. We have issues in Kansas. I'm aware of the service issues in Kansas. And we are working on the plant there is old. It's a 3-story building. There are other operational issues that we have in Kansas, and I am working a strategy specifically to enhance the service in Kansas. That is not a result of anything in the plan, right? It's a result of operational issues that we have in Kansas, and I recognize it's there, and we're going to fix it.
So how would you measure success?
In Kansas?
I mean, I assume there's some metric that says the average number of days. Are you meeting the 5-day standard, I guess? How do you follow that?
I still think when you look at Kansas, 50% of market-dominant mail and packages get to where they're supposed to be a day in advance of a standard. We have, in your case, you said 77, so we might be 77% on time. But the next day, we're within 90. We're in the 90s. Right now, with all the transitions of the traffic coming in and out that we need to make, I think that is part of the consequence of the damage that has been done to the organization over the past 2 decades.
Okay, I need my next question. Postmaster General, the city of Winchester, Kansas, has been without a post office building since October 2020. City officials have been provided with a draft lease from the USPS, but have not received a signed, finalized lease allowing them to begin constructing a new building. Can I get your commitment today that a finalized lease will be returned to the city of Winchester by the end of this year?
By the end of this year? I can check. I know that's in process. I'll check out what the timing.
What's a reasonable time then if it's not by the end of this year?
Sure, I will, let me get back to you. I'll go check on that when we get back to the office. I am trying to accelerate all our leasing practices. It is a laborious.
It's Winchester, Kansas, okay.
Yeah.
I think you kind of alluded to this audit by the Inspector General in the Kansas City region. What's getting better there? Tell me just, what's improving? How are you measuring that? Can we expect improvement in 6 months, in 3 years?
I think in the coming year, we should have, in the coming year, we should have, Kansas is in the middle of the country. Most of the service is 3-day service in and out, in and out of the country. And that's a tough service lane for us now because we're trying to stretch the transportation dollar and fill our trucks. So it is cumbersome when we're looking at some new routings and some new transportation modes that I think over the next 6 months we will start to see them take shape. Okay. But I still, we are. When I got here, there was the tail of the mail. If it didn't get there on time, it disappeared for 10 days. We are really focused on this window of, within 3 days,
okay.
Okay. Measurement.
I'm going to close with this question, Postmaster General. Explain to me where the resistance is. I think you're sincere. I think you want to fix the post office. I don't know that I could fix the post office. Besides throwing money at it, where's the resistance? I just feel like when I can see the strain in your voice that you want to fix this. You came in here, you want to. Who's the resistance to fixing this problem?
I think there's a romance with an organization that long ago lost its ability to do the service that everybody expected, and that is what's at the issue here. Right? It was obvious in the past. We let it go. Where there was a significant resistance to any. I mean, I have calls with congressmen, senators that even understand my plan. They say, just not in my district, not here, not there. Right? I have my own people, 640,000 people that need to learn how to operate like FedEx and UPS. That's the only way we survive.
So that sounds like resistance to me.
It's not resistance. It's.
So FedEx can do it, but you guys can't.
It would have been easier for me to build a new postal service than to transition this one, because we're also delivering 400 million pieces of mail and packages a day, right? 400 million. Pretty reliable. If you say within 3 days, pretty reliable. If you tie all the other regiments that we have, right? We have a postal regulatory organization, a regulator that doesn't understand modern day logistics and productivity and aggregation, right? So we have a laborious process. We have significant unfunded mandates that are given upon us by this Congress, right? I can go on, sir.
Thank you.